1. The Lancaster, New Hampshire abduction, the Betty and Barney Hill case. It was September 19, 1961. The quiet roads of New Hampshire's White Mountains were Betty and Barney Hill's last leg home after a belated honeymoon. The night was serene, but their journey was about to become anything but. First, Betty spotted a point of light in the sky, a star, she thought, but one that seemed to be moving with them. As they drove, the light grew, transforming from a distant flicker into a colossal, silent craft with a row of windows and figures staring out at them. Barney, a pragmatic postal worker and civil rights activist, was unsettled. He pulled over, grabbed his binoculars, and stepped out. What he saw next would change their lives forever. Humanoid figures, dressed in dark uniforms, stared back from the ship's windows. One figure, the leader, seemed to be giving him a command. A strange tingling sensation filled the air, and a sudden, sharp buzzing sound echoed. Barney ran back to the car in a panic, and they sped away. The next thing they knew, they were 35 miles down the road, with 2 hours of their lives gone. They arrived home to find their watches stopped, Barney's shoes scuffed, and Betty's dress torn. They tried to make sense of the missing time, but their memories were blank. It was only through years of terrifying hypnosis sessions, conducted to address their growing anxiety and recurring nightmares, that the full, chilling story emerged. They recalled being taken aboard the craft, separated, and subjected to a medical examination by small, gray-skinned beings with large, almond-shaped eyes. Betty even recalled being shown a star map by the leader, which she later drew from memory. The Betty and Barney Hill case became a foundational pillar of modern alien abduction lore, a story of two ordinary people who crossed paths with the extraordinary, leaving a legacy that still resonates today. 2. The Liberty, Kentucky abduction. On a cold night in January 1976, three friends, Mona Stafford, Louise Smith, and Elaine Thomas, were driving home from a birthday dinner in rural Kentucky. The road was dark and quiet, and the mood in the car was light. But as they turned onto Highway 78, a piercing, crimson light appeared in the sky ahead of them. At first, they thought it was a plane on fire, but the object was a silent, massive, metallic disc, hovering low over the road. As the women stared in a mixture of fear and disbelief, a strange blue light filled the car's interior. The air grew thick and heavy. The engine of Louise's car roared to life, and the vehicle accelerated on its own, reaching speeds of over 85 miles per hour as if being pushed by an unseen force. Mona cried out, her eyes burning from the intense light, and the trio felt their bodies become frozen to their seats. Then, a terrifying silence fell. They awoke with a jolt, their car now stopped 8 miles down the road in an unfamiliar field. The mysterious craft was gone, but the effects of the encounter were not. The women had lost over 2 hours of time, and all three had strange, red, and painful burns on their necks and a gnawing thirst that they couldn't quench. Later, under hypnosis, their memories of the event were unlocked. They recalled being taken aboard the craft and subjected to physical examinations by shadowy figures with frightening eyes who communicated through telepathy. This unsettling story of lost time and unexplained burns became a chilling testament to an encounter with something unknowable in the heart of the American South. 3. The Pascagoula, Mississippi abduction. It was October 11, 1973, on the banks of the Pascagoula River. Charles Hickson and his teenage friend, Calvin Parker, were fishing, enjoying a tranquil night. That tranquility was shattered by a sudden, high-pitched whirring sound. A large, oval-shaped craft with flashing blue lights descended and hovered just above the water. From the ship, three bizarre-looking creatures emerged. They were about 5 feet tall, with pale, wrinkled skin, and a mechanical, almost robotic way of moving. They had no neck or legs, and their hands were a strange mix of fingers and pincer-like claws. In a moment of sheer terror, Calvin fainted. Charles, paralyzed with fear, watched as two of the creatures grabbed him and another lifted Calvin. They were floated aboard the craft and taken to an examination room. On board, Charles was placed on a table and subjected to a horrifying examination by a large, silvery, and seemingly sentient device. The machine moved over his body, scanning him. Calvin, meanwhile, later recalled a more feminine-looking creature who pinched his cheek and probed his throat with a long, thin finger. After the terrifying ordeal, they were released, returned to the riverbank, and the craft vanished. The men, still shaken, went to the local sheriff's office. A deputy secretly recorded them, and their raw, unfeigned terror in that moment convinced law enforcement something truly terrifying had happened to them. The Pascagoula abduction became one of the most credible and widely publicized close-encounter cases in history, a story of two friends whose ordinary fishing trip became a journey into the heart of the unknown. 4. The Snowflake, Arizona abduction, the Travis Walton case. On November 5, 1975, in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, a logging crew was working late. As darkness fell, they spotted a brilliant, glowing disk hovering silently above the trees. 22-year-old Travis Walton, intrigued, jumped out of the truck and ran toward the craft. The other men shouted warnings, but it was too late. A blinding blue-green beam of light shot down from the UFO, enveloping Travis and throwing him violently backward. Terrified, the rest of the crew, led by Mike Rogers, sped away, believing Travis had been killed. They drove directly to the sheriff's office. Their story of a missing friend and a UFO met with skepticism and suspicion. The crew were all subjected to lie detector tests, which they passed, but the authorities still suspected they had murdered Travis and were using the UFO story as a cover-up. For 5 days, Travis Walton was gone. The search parties found nothing. The media swarmed, and the mystery deepened. Then, in the early hours of November 12, a phone call came to his sister's house. It was Travis, dazed, confused, and asking where he was. He was found at a gas station, disoriented and with no memory of the last 5 days. He later recalled being inside a sterile, metallic-smelling ship, surrounded by small, bald creatures with large eyes. He described escaping to another room and encountering human-like beings in blue suits who guided him. The Travis Walton case, immortalized in the film Fire in the Sky, remains one of the most famous and fiercely debated abduction stories, a tale of a man who disappeared for 5 days into an enigma. 5. Alien underground bases, Barstow, California. In the desolate, sun-scorched landscape of the Mojave Desert, near Barstow, California, is a place shrouded in whispers and shadows. This is not a story of abduction, but of a different kind of conspiracy, one that claims that beneath the vast, empty expanse lies a secret, deep underground base. The rumors surrounding this location, often linked to the sprawling Marine Corps Air-Ground Combat Center at 29 Palms and other military installations, suggest that it is not just a military facility but a clandestine hub of extraterrestrial activity. Conspiracy theorists and self-proclaimed whistleblowers have long pointed to the area as a secret government alien collaboration site. They speak of strange lights in the sky, triangular crafts, and hushed accounts of strange sounds coming from below the ground. While there is no definitive proof, the legend persists, fueled by the remote and highly restricted nature of the military installations. The proximity to other paranormal hotspots in the desert, like the mysterious Integratron and Giant Rock, only adds to the mystique. The narrative is one of a high-tech, hidden world, where human and alien beings allegedly work in concert on advanced technologies, far from the prying eyes of the public. The Barstow Underground Base is the silent, unseen epicenter of a world hidden in plain sight, a place where the line between military secrets and alien truths is said to be completely blurred. 6. Alien underground bases, Dulce, New Mexico. Nestled in the remote, rugged mountains of northern New Mexico is the small town of Dulce, a place that, according to some of the most sensational and enduring conspiracy theories, sits atop a massive, 7-story underground base. The Dulce base, as it's known, is not a place of friendly meetings but of a dark and horrifying secret. The legend began to take hold in the 1970s and 80s, fueled by claims of unexplained cattle mutilations and the research of physicist Paul Benowitz, who believed he was intercepting electronic signals from a secret underground facility. But the story escalated to a whole new level with the claims of a man named Philip Schneider, a former government explosive engineer. Schneider alleged that in 1979, he was part of the crew building the underground facility and was involved in a brutal firefight with a race of malevolent gray aliens. He claimed that over 60 humans were killed in the battle. The base, according to this terrifying narrative, is a joint human-alien operation focused on horrifying genetic experiments, creating human-animal and human-alien hybrids. The town of Dulce has become a pilgrimage site for believers, with locals reporting strange lights and an unsettling atmosphere. The Dulce base is the stuff of nightmares, a place where the most sinister fears about alien intentions and government conspiracies are said to be a horrifying reality, hidden deep within the earth. 7. Joshua Tree, California. The Joshua Tree landscape is a masterpiece of surreal beauty, a vast, otherworldly expanse where bizarre rock formations and spiky trees seem to belong to a different planet. Perhaps that's why this desert expanse has become a magnet for claims of extraterrestrial contact. Beyond the famous national park, the area is home to bizarre landmarks like the Integratron, a dome built by George Van Tassel who claimed he received the plans telepathically from aliens from Venus. Sightings in Joshua Tree are not about singular, terrifying abductions but a more consistent, almost integrated, presence. Witnesses describe seeing silent, triangular and circular crafts hovering over the barren landscape and strange lights darting across the night sky. The remote location and proximity to military installations like 29 Palms have led many to believe this is a key staging ground for alien activity. The encounters here are often described as more observational, as if the aliens are simply studying our world from a place that already feels alien. For many, Joshua Tree is a place where the veil between our world and another is thin, a desert playground where the strange and the sublime meet under the vast, star-filled sky. 8. Lubbock Lights, Texas. On a warm night in August 1951, in the quiet city of Lubbock, Texas, a group of professors from Texas Tech College was having an evening chat in a backyard. As they looked up at the sky, they saw something that defies all logical explanation, a V-shaped formation of what appeared to be 15 to 30 brilliant, greenish-blue lights, moving in perfect, silent unison across the sky at an incredible speed. The lights were not a singular object but a series of distinct points, flying in a formation that no known aircraft could replicate. Over the next few weeks, hundreds of people in the area reported similar sightings. A student even managed to capture a photograph of the mysterious lights, though the grainy, black and white images only deepened the mystery. The U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, tasked with investigating UFOs, was called in. Their official explanation was that the lights were the reflection of new streetlights on the underbellies of migrating plover birds, an explanation that many witnesses, including the professors, found completely absurd. The objects were too large, too fast, and too perfectly formed to be birds. The Lubbock lights remain an iconic, unsolved case, not of an abduction, but of a mass sighting that shook a community and left a profound question hanging in the air: what was flying silently over the skies of Texas that night, and where did it come from?